What's going on, guys? Hey, this morning we continue in our devotional series in the book of Romans, chapter 3, verses 9 through 20, and I'm here today with David Glavin. What's up, David?
Hi, Dakota.
Hey, we're at Corner Market Coffee Shop, so if you hear any noise in the background going on, it's just because we're here in public and we're doing this devotional among the people. So, starting in verse 9, I'm going to read it, then we're going to discuss it and close it out. What then? Are we better than they? Not at all. For we have already charged that both Jews and Greeks are all under sin. There is none righteous, not even one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks for God. All have turned aside. Together they have become useless. There is none who does good. There is not even one. Their throat is an open grave. With their tongues they keep deceiving. The poison of asps is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their paths. In the path of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Now we know that whatever the law says, it speaks to those who are under the law, so that every mouth may be closed and all the world may become accountable to God. Because by the works of the law no flesh will be justified in his sight. For through the law comes the knowledge of sin. David, what do you see jumping off the page right off the bat?
Well, one thing I noticed as we read through it this time, the almost like all of the senses are mentioned except for the hands.
Yeah.
Like the, well, I guess the eyes aren't in there, but you've got the mouth,
Right.
the feet, I think that
The attitude, the mind,
attitude,
the will.
yeah, the dull mind.
Yeah.
I think that, especially to mention, well, there's a thought or an idea in those who believe that they're righteous.
Yeah.
You know, and so as you were reading that time, I was thinking about, all these other senses that are dulled or being misused or misunderstood.
Yeah.
To being righteous, but they're not. They do all these wicked things.
Right.
The hands.
Right.
It's like I'm doing good,
Yeah.
but there's always some other part of me that is representing
Right.
something that is not righteous, that is not serving God.
Like all of our actions, even if we do some things that are morally decent, there's a convoluted aspect of the sin that we bring into the picture as well.
Mm-hmm.
You could actually make an argument for hands in verse 15. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Now, unless, they're pulling some Karate Kid kind of kick in the face, it's probably they run with their feet and then with their hands they shed the blood, So you can make an argument there, but...
Yeah, when I was thinking about that, I was thinking of stomping on other people, of trampling.
Oh, that's
like
true.
Rising up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wondered that myself.
Yep.
I don't do a lot of fighting with my feet. Well, I don't do a lot of fighting, period.
Yeah. I do a lot of fighting.
For those of you who want to start something, I do a lot of fighting, so I'm trying. But I really don't.
When you're looking at Paul's quotations, he starts at the bottom of verse 9. We have already charged that both Jews and Greeks are all under sin. So that's the point he's trying to make. And he's been doing that for the first 2 chapters. It's not just the Gentiles who are under sin, it's also the Jewish people. He seems to really focus on their attitude, but he really focuses on their words a ton. Verse 13, their throat is an open grave. With their tongues they keep deceiving. The poison of asps is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. And King David is just quoting most of these here. Paul is quoting him from Psalm 14, Psalm 5, Psalm 140, Psalm 10, Isaiah 59, Psalm 36. It's like Paul just goes off with one psalm after another with the sin nature. David, let's close this out. Verses 19 through 20 speak about being accountable to God, everyone being accountable to God underneath the law, and no flesh being justified in his sight. What do you think that's saying, just to wrap it up?
Well, it's basically taking away justification, under any other means but through Christ.
Yeah.
Whatever the law says, it's to those who are under the law, so that every mouth will be silenced. The purpose of the law isn't to make us righteous,
That's right.
following the law, because it just makes us aware of our sin.
Right.
It's essentially unreachable.
It is unattainable, unreachable. Literally in verse 20 it says, by the works of the law, no flesh will be justified in his sight. What Paul is setting up in his argument is that everybody is wicked and sinful. There is no such thing as a good person, because in God's definition, the word good means perfect. Jesus said there's no one good but God. And he's preparing his audience for the argument that justification, being right before God, being justified as right before God, comes with nothing else other than faith, which is the next devotional. But right now, everybody's guilty, and our inability to carry out the implications of the law show our wicked hearts are unable to attain to something so perfect of a standard. So hey, this is Romans 3, verses 9 through 20. Like it, share it, post it on social media, help us to get the Word of God out. Visit us more at ottawabiblechurch.com for more content. David, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.